Hello and welcome to Baldur's Gate. I'm Shadow Coast and welcome to the channel. In this video, we are going to review 7 quality of life tips to help you in your Baldur's Gate 3 journey. So let's run through them really quickly. First off, if you didn't know this already, if you click tab, you can open up all your character sheets and inventory. This is really helpful, and then you can scroll wheel up and down to see all the items, and then you can just trade between items between characters. You can do this in combat, so if you want to trade, say, a candle or a potion, you can do that in combat. Tip number 2, when you're looking at different items in your inventory or with tab, you can hold down control to select multiple items. Now it has to be within the character, so you can see I'm holding control, then left clicking to select, and then it goes away if you switch between characters. So just keep that in mind. Similarly, if you hold down shift and then click between items, you can just automatically highlight all of them in between, right? So it goes in a row. So I'm holding down left shift and then left clicking, and it'll select all of them. This is really important. Now, if you didn't know this, in the top, when you open up I in inventory, you can actually sort up here, and then you can also search for certain things depending. So like if I wanted to type in skull, that'll appear skull, and then you can quickly see it from that perspective. So you can sort and you can filter, which is really helpful. So keep that in mind when you do that. All right. Tip number 4 is sending items to camp. So if you are over encumbered or you have a bunch of stuff and you still want to use it later on or sell it later on, you can just right click either on a group of items or a single item and send to camp. It will be in your inventory at your camp chest when you go back to camp. So send things to camp. One thing that's important to note is you will have camp supplies here that will start taking up a lot of weight. I'm already at almost 11 pounds here in camp supplies. I will only use these in camp, so you should always send camp supplies to camp to free up weight, so keep that in mind. Alright, the other thing you can do is if you select a bunch of items or individual items and right click, you can add to wares. So you'll see this little mark, add to wares, and the reason that's so important is when you talk to a vendor, you can quickly sell your wares, which is basically your junk that you've marked. So if you come over here to trade, so in the top up here, you go between barter and trade. Down here you can sell wares, and you can sell all that for the associated gold they're willing to pay. Note that your attitude, higher attitude means you're going to get better rates, so keep that in mind when you're selling wares. Alright, a couple other tips here. If you are looting and you don't want to click take all every time, you can click spacebar. So right now I'm clicking spacebar, and you can see here I picked up everything. So as you select things, if you click spacebar, that is basically loot all. The other thing that I will say is, and I did not realize this until recently, let's say you're hovering over an item. If you click T, so I'm hovering over the item and clicking T, and then escape to close, you can examine items. So this is hugely helpful as you're kind of going. So if you click T, you can see it's a plaque. You can't read the plaque. You have to left click on it to see. So those are the tips. Tab to open up all your characters. Control and shift will help you select multiple items so you can mark it. You can sort on your characters. I do believe you have to open up inventory to do that. Inventory and equipment by clicking I, and you can sort and search here. Send items to camp by right clicking and sending to camp. Make sure you send all your camp supplies because they'll only be used in camp. You can mark items to sell as wares by right clicking and clicking add to wares, which makes it easier to trade to vendors. And then spacebar will loot all, and then T for items that you can see will automatically examine it and give you all the information that you can also then kind of look at the tooltips and extra things there. Hopefully you found these 77 quality of life tips helpful. If you did, please drop a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in future videos. Shadow Coast out.